In the spirit world, Brazil is typically known for producing cachaça, and that's pretty much about it. But in this video, I'm gonna be talking to you about an amazing Brazilian gin called Amazzoni. Gin is one of my personal favorite spirits, and it was something that I always had a lot of fun with because as a bartender, people would always come in and be like, oh, I hate gin. And I would always take it upon myself as like a challenge to show people that honestly, they haven't been drinking gin the right way or in the right cocktails. And as a Brazilian bartender who owns his own restaurant, I've always been searching for more South American and Latin American spirits. I mean, on this channel, I focus so much on pisco cocktails, cachaça cocktails, and really trying to focus on things that come from South America. And I do the same thing at my restaurant. On my menu right now, I have a Colombian rum, a Venezuelan rum, I have some Argentinian gin, I have a ton of cachaça, a lot of pisco from both Peru and Chile. And so I'm always looking for stuff to bring in that is different and from South America. And I was so excited when I discovered Amazzoni on Instagram. And I just had to get my hands on a bottle. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Louis, and on this channel, I make videos about cocktail recipes, I talk about my favorite spirits, I teach you how to make better drinks and cocktails, and I talk about what it's like to own my own restaurant and bar. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, come on over here, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that little bell icon to never miss out on any of the videos that I post. Right, let's get back to this amazing gin, Amazzoni. I probably could have said, let's get back to this Amazzoniing gin. In this video, I want to talk to you about what Amazzoni is, what makes it stand out from other gin, and why should you even care? And then lastly, we're going to round it out by just doing a little bit of a tasting, and then I'll give you my final verdict on it. So Amazzoni is a gin made by the first dedicated gin distillery in Brazil. I guess there have been other gins made in Brazil, but they were never like they were never solely focused on creating a gin, and these guys, all they do is make gin. Like they really wanted to make sure that this was an excellent product. It actually won the World's Best Craft Producer Award at the World Gin Awards in 2018. It's pretty cool that they won that. And they are from the state of Rio De Janeiro in Brazil. So what makes Amazzoni different from other gins? Well, they took a very classic approach to making a modern gin. So they took the traditional old school method of making gin using cereal grains and making that into an alcohol and then turning it into gin. So it stays true to the roots of a London dry style gin, but they add their own Brazilian twist and flair. And how do they do that? Well, they do that with the botanicals that they add. They added 5 botanicals that are exclusive to the Amazon region of Brazil and have never been used in a gin before. And those 5 botanicals that they use to add flavor to this gin are cocoa, Brazil nut, machixe, which is I believe it's in like the gherkin or cucumber family. You also have Victoria Amazonica, which is a plant that's grown in the Amazon that I guess is part of the water lily family. And lastly, you have cipó cravo, which is a Brazilian clove. And so these 5 botanicals are only found really in Brazil, and they were used to create Amazzoni here. So just to kind of review here, so what makes it stand out from other gin? Well, it's a uniquely Brazilian gin. It's made in an old world style using cereal grains and alcohol. And it has very specific botanicals that are only found in Brazil, but it is still done in a classic traditional way. So it's not like it's veering too far off from what other people expect and want from a gin, but it does so in a new way. And all right, so now that we've kind of gone over that, so what does it taste like? Well, let's find out. Just gonna grab our low ball here. And first off, I do want to talk about just how beautiful this bottle is. I mean, they just did a spectacular job with the production. I love their label. It's very old school, but also kind of modern. I love the bottle. It's just a really nice bottle. So let's pour some of this out. It's kind of a lot, but whatever. So first let's give it a sniff. So yeah, you get that juniper right on the nose. It smells a lot like like a Tanqueray or another kind of a London dry style gin, but almost with a little bit of a sweetness or citrus element to it more on the nose. They do use tangerine and lemon as well as one of the botanicals. The interesting part is that even on its own, there's very little burn at all. You do get that sweetness and citrus element right up front before you get more of those other botanicals towards the end as you taste it. I would say it's as if like a London dry style gin, instead of being that harsh dryness to it, was slightly softened with some of those botanicals, tangerine, lemon, wow. But overall, an excellent gin. I mean, you know, it is a very well-made, well-tasting gin. It's exactly what it's advertised as being. It is a Brazilian take on a classic gin, which is great. I love it. One of the first things I did once I got these bottles is that I was redoing our cocktail menu here for our, you know, secondary launch. I try to keep our cocktail menu fresh. You know, once or twice a year, I try to switch it up. But one of the first things I wanted to do was like, no, I need to put this in a cocktail that goes on our menu. And I made a cocktail called the Amazon Sunset, which calls for Amazzoni Gin, guava, Aperol, lime juice, and orgeat. And it is out of this world delicious. It is something that I am really excited for people to get to taste because I love this gin so much. They also have another gin that they make that they just released recently called the Rio Negro, which is a 51% ABV version of their regular gin, which I'm really excited to get my hands on as well because I love higher proof gin. I think that it works so much better in a cocktail. I just really love using it. But there you have it, guys. I really wanted to make this video because I have a lot of pride being Brazilian, and you know, clearly I have a Brazilian restaurant here in the United States, and I'm really trying to showcase the best of what my home country or original country, whatever you want to call it, has to offer. And the fact that I'm able to get some of this gin to offer to our guests and get to talk to you about it, it makes me really happy because I think it's a splendid, incredible spirit. And like I said at the beginning, Brazil's usually known for its cachaça. I've talked a lot about the different cachaça from Brazil on this channel, but I never thought I would be able to talk about a Brazilian gin. I will be making a couple cocktails on this channel in the next coming weeks using Amazzoni Gin. But if you don't want to wait for that, I do have a couple on my TikTok account that I have been using this gin primarily to make those cocktails, so check that out. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it was it was a good insight into this awesome gin. And if you find it in a store near you, or if you want to check them out, I'm gonna link them down below as well. And just to be clear, they did not pay me to do this. I just really like this gin. And it's something that I'm actually using on our cocktail menu here at the restaurant. And so I figured, let me share it with all of you because it's something that I'm very happy about and very proud of to be able to serve. Well, let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.